Hello guys, here with a new video for the channel. I hope you like it, and if you like it, don't forget to leave your powerful like Supreme God level, comment, and subscribe. Now without further ado, get comfortable. Let's begin.
In the whole vast universe, the most powerful Ink, named Zalma, was very thoughtful, since he felt like beings of great powers appeared while his essence was of pure evil. I will have to leave a worthy successor, but it will be better to do it now, since I can't allow all this to go on like this. Zalma would begin to channel all this power in his energy core, but to his surprise, one of the most powerful warriors, specifically the Prince of the Infernos of the Four Universes, would prostrate himself in front of Zalma. But what my eyes witness, the legendary Zalma plans to destroy everything around him. What fun! Zalma, without having time to dodge, would be thrown hundreds of meters all over the universe, vanishing all the energy he had charged. Prince of Hell Freak, what are you doing in this place? And most importantly, how did you know that I would destroy everyone? That's obvious. We know that you are the most powerful god ever seen, and unlike us, your heart is of pure kindness, so together we have decided to end you. Threads of fate, divine support. Several strands of energy were able to neutralize Zalma completely, while Freak would approach towards Zalma. We can't allow you to destroy anything, since all of us freed on the souls of the innocent, so it'll be better to finish, you coward. The Prince of the Underworld was about to hit your big blow, but to his surprise, Zalma's eyes shone, managing to put him in a very powerful illusion. The Prince, who was one of the four hells, would be surrounded by hundreds of demons. How naive you are! Do you think I won't be able to get out of an illusion of one of my hells? Several demons launched themselves against him, but from the same body of the prince, gold lashes were able to wipe out everything around him, even being able to torture one of the demons endlessly with the cruelty. Time to get out of this place. I have seen what is the opening point. Spiritual Spear! The Great Spear was aimed at a specific demon, which was also the key to get out of the world. But at the moment of returning to the real world, he was able to observe how Gelshin was about to die. But Freak was not able to do anything because at that moment, to be about to help him, Zalma, with a strong kick, was able to tear off his head, and a great attack would disintegrate him completely. It's too late for all of you. I've been able to gather enough power to finish you off and leave my successor. I won't let you, fucking worm! Divine Killer, Manifestation! That won't be so easy for you. Domain Expansion, World of the Great Zalma. Everything around him is illuminated with a great golden light as his pressure. That's right, being able to expand his domain, Freak's divine manifestation would not work at all. It's time. With my almost unlimited power, I grant the knowledge of this warrior who will be able to rule and bring the peace that I could not bring. I sacrifice Divine. A big explosion of Zalma was able to destroy absolutely everything in its path, even every god who was caught off guard, but two of them were able to survive, but their state was pathetic. Meanwhile, all the power that Zalma had been able to collect would begin to take the form of a small warrior with a tail, but in order for him to be able to go unnoticed, he would have to change genetically. You, the being who will be my successor, will have the ability to adopt the power of the best warrior race. Thus, you will be able to unleash the full power of my potential. So hundreds of years have passed since the power of Zalma was adapting to a race originally called the Ozarus, who lived in Universe 18. But upon being destroyed by Xenosama, the great energy would depart to Universe 7, which was a race very similar to that of the Ozarus, so that the warrior named Kakarot would be the descendant of the powerful Zalma, so that no one would even notice. He would take the appearance of a Saiyan named Bardock. With everything I know, my father has been through, I have been able to awaken my full potential. but at this age I'm still not able to achieve it. Kakarot, despite being only a child, would start training, being the pride of his Saiyan parents until one day, the evil Emperor Frieza would learn about the legendary legend of the Super Saiyan. So without wasting any time, the great Frieza would send to call all the Saiyan warriors who gather on the planet Vegeta. But the Saiyan Bardock, having the vision of seeing the future, was able to realize how Frieza planned to destroy the planet. But by trying to send Kakarot to the planet Earth, this would refuse completely. Bardock, with no option, would make him in front of everyone of Frieza's warriors, but he would be imminently defeated.
Die, damn monkey! They are nothing compared to my authentic power.
A great attack would be able to be capable of ending Bardock's life, would be stopped without any difficulty by the little Kakarot.
Kakarot, get out of here! He's a monster, you won't be able to do anything!
I appreciate your care, but you really don't know who I am, much less this garbage that's in front of me. I understand that you could transform. So do I.
Frieza, furious at being taken as simple garbage, would throw himself against that Saiyan at a great speed. But being about to hit him, the simple look of Kakarot would not let him move.
What is this? Why am I not able to move freely? I'll tell you one more time. Transform yourself, because I don't want to end you with just breathing.
Frieza, upset by that humiliation, would begin to access his last form.
You are a very annoying child, but with this power, you won't be able to do anything against me, you dirty monkey.
But the result would still be the same. Kakarot, having a much more Frieza personality, and a single attack would reduce Frieza to simple atoms of the entire universe.
You all have a great hostility, so if from today, if you don't want to die, you will change that attitude or face my anger.
The Saiyans would obey the orders of a child, but the Frieza soldiers decided to attack. However, Kakarot, from a few power outages, was able to finish off each one of Frieza's soldiers.
The power of these warriors possess is too low. I need to face dimensional gods to be able to increase my power more.
Kakarot would take Bardock to a rehabilitation capsule in which he would be able to fully recover. Meanwhile, the father of the Frieza, King Cold, would realize that his son had died on the planet of the Saiyans.
Damn Frieza! I always told you not to trust those damn monkeys. Now I will finish those dirty monkeys myself.
Frieza's father would begin to head towards the planet of the Saiyans. However, in a very distant place, the god Beerus would wake up from a long sleep.
Whis, how long did I sleep? I'm still too sleepy.
Mr. Beerus, you slept about 5 years.
Understand, because I'm sleepy, I only slept for 5 years. But tell me, Whis, is there any news you want to inform me?
Mr. Beerus, Frieza has died when he was about to fulfill his command to destroy all the Saiyans.
Is Frieza dead? I can't believe it, but tell me, who has the necessary power to beat Frieza?
He is a Saiyan boy who's not more than 10 years old, Mr. Beerus, but there is something about him which intrigues me a lot. I feel that he hides a gigantic power.
Well, let's go immediately to the planet Vegeta. We need to talk to that Saiyan.
Both deities would quickly leave for the planet of the Saiyans, in which all the warriors began to train since a small child had surpassed them by dozens of times. Meanwhile, in a place very far away from all the multiverses, Frake, the Prince of the Infernos, kept recovering his energy because he had left in a terrible condition. Damn, that damn Zalma was able to attack me with all that power. I can't believe it, that despite millions of years have passed, I'm still not able to heal those damn wounds. Frake would try to communicate telepathically with all the other gods, but it was impossible for him. Only one more god had the endurance to withstand that explosion.
Frake, I'm still alive, but I'm in the same condition as you. I'm not able to move at will. I'm still recovering despite millions of years have passed more. No matter how long it takes, we must heal all these wounds and end the hope that Zama's left in the multiverse. So both gods began to hibernate to be able to recover much more efficiently. Meanwhile, on the planet of Vegeta, King Cold has arrived, but was surprised to realize the presence of the god of destruction. Great Beerus, what is it that you do in this place?
But if you're Frieza's father, maybe we're in this place for the same reason. I want to know who was the warrior who ended Frieza's life.
but a child would start walking in front of them. But with each step, everything around him was distorted. Even the pressure he released, he was able to bend King Cold, while Beerus had a little difficulty staying on his feet.
What the hell's going on? How is a simple child able to release all this incredible pressure?
Mr. Beerus, I'm not able to observe through this child. It is as if a very superior force prevents me.
Angel, don't make an effort to try to analyze me, because it'll be impossible for you. But tell me, what do you want on my planet?
I want revenge, since you killed my son. So it doesn't matter if he dies, or I'll finish you.
How pathetic you are. If you want to keep your son company so much, I'll send you to the other world with him.
Kakarot mercilessly would dismember King Cold to the point of only leaving a few pieces of flesh in one attack, would reduce him to mere atoms.
And now, what do you want? As far as I can tell, you're the deities of this universe.
Apparently you have a lot of knowledge about the deities of the universes, but tell us, who are you?
That is something I'm obliged to answer. If that was just your question, get out of here.
Beerus, annoyed, he would release his power to 50%, with which, being inches away from hitting Kakarot, Beerus' fist did not advance any further.
To be able to hit me, you have to be able to be at a level similar to mine and cross the energy barrier, something that's impossible for you.
Don't underestimate me, as I could send you to the other world.
Beerus released 100% of all his power, with which he'd begin to exchange multiple blows with that little Saiyan. Kakarot, now realizing that his barrier would not be able to withstand the blows of Beerus, he would face him. While Kakarot dodged the blows of the god, he would say to himself,
I have to raise my power. I can't believe that the power of a simple god of destruction is able to breach my energy barrier.
Mr. Beerus, step back now. Beerus would listen to his master, and at the moment he would realize how in front of him a great sword of energy had failed to hit him.
Apparently you've been able to perceive my intention. You have good reflexes, Angel, but why don't you stand up to me?
We angels are forbidden to confront a warrior from any universe, since only our god of destruction should be in charge of this.
This pathetic god doesn't have enough power to stand up to me, so I'm waiting for you.
Beerus, annoyed, he would try to do something against Kakarot, but it was impossible for him. Kakarot would immediately notice how a warrior was trying to locate the power of Zalma, since in the cortex of the 12 universes, the Divine Eye could be perceived.
That won't do them any good, universal divine protection.
A great barrier in all the 12 universes would allow the Divine Eye to be able to locate the successor of Zalma.
So, Angel, would you like to fight me?
Whis would observe how his god had been left on the verge of death before a simple child. I have no other choice. I'm not going to let you make fun of Mr. Beerus in this way. The Angel Whis would get into a battle pose, getting ready to have a battle against Zalma's successor. Whis would begin to expel such a pure power, very contrary to the power of Beerus, which was absolute destruction. The power of Whis, despite rising unrealistically, only caused energy storms without destroying anything around him, unlike the power of his god, which destroyed everything in its path.
I can tell you have full control of your energy, but will you be able to see my movements?
Before being able to respond, he would be sent flying with a powerful blow, which would make him bleed too much. So much had been the power of the blow that even his internal energy seemed to get out of control.
Damn, the blow he has given me has been an incredible power. I have to repair my divine flow now.
Whis, quickly with the help of his staff, would begin to hit different areas of his own body, while Kakarot simply watched. At the moment, a big gulp of blood would spit Whis, but he felt much more relieved.
It's amazing that you're able to withstand just one of my blows using divine energy. Do you have the knowledge of the divine energy? Who the hell are you? I'm the existence which a simple angel like you could never explain.
If you think about destroying the entire divine world, or Universe 7, my father Dai Shanken will finish you without any compassion. He's the most complete warrior of all the 12 universes.
So the most complete warrior, I want to fight with him. So you better communicate with him or I'll end your miserable life right here.
Whis would flatly refuse, but Kakarot, showing his Ozaru side, would start to torture him cruelly. That's right, the Ozaru race, or better known as the early Saiyans, were warriors who were used to brutality on the battlefield.
Are you planning to change your mind, or do I really have to end your pathetic life? will never betray the High Priest, so finish with me.
But the whole Universe 7, a great golden light would emerge. That's right, the Great Priest perceived that the vital energy of one of his sons was disappearing, so he went to his maximum speed. When observing Whis in such conditions, he would release an incredible power, so much so that he would give Kakarot a little surprise.
You have great power to be a simple creation.
Daishinkan, without waiting for Kakarot to keep talking, would begin to exchange blows, but would be surprised to realize how the body of a child was able to withstand all his blows. However, Kakarot would be thrown to a distant part of the planet Vegeta.
By your fortune, I'm an empathetic god. I'll do absolutely nothing to other Saiyans. I only plan to finish you.
Kakarot, which was embedded in a mountain with multiple wounds, would give a small smile.
It's admirable that, despite being on the verge of death, you still have the courage to smile. But that'll be the last thing you do.
Daishinkan has directed his last blow against Kakarot, but to his surprise, that boy was able to dodge him. Daishinkan was surprised to notice how Kakarot's body radiated an amazing power while his hair would turn a silver color.
I'm not able to use all my power as my body's still developing, but with this power, it'll be enough.
Who the hell are you? That is a way of the Ultra Instinct, but it's impossible for a simple child like you to be able to access such a state.
Why do you doubt that he's capable of possessing all this power? If you angels are able to access this state, why couldn't I?
We angels are blessed with that ability. You're a Saiyan.
I'll give you a lesson. Don't let your vision cloud you, because not everything that glitters is gold, just like not everything your eyes see is real.
Daishinkan, without understanding that metaphor, he'd be taken out of his thoughts with an incredible blow, which Kakarot had connected in his abdomen. Daishinkan's body would expel large amounts of blood, while he was on the ground unable to move. Whis, who had observed such an event, would be perplexed, since even the Great Priest had not been able to do something against the power of that warrior. I'm sure that Saiyan is not a simple child. The power he possesses even surpasses us, who have trained for millions of years.
How have you been able to cause me all this damage in one hit?
I don't intend to end your life, priest, but you better go away and ask each of your gods and angels to raise their power.
I don't know who you really are, but I can tell that your heart is pure, although you leave me with terror, feeling just one of your blows.
In just a few years, when I reach my adulthood, I'll come to the Kingdom of the Whole to be able to talk with the current ruler.
Current ruling? What do you mean by that?
The talk is over. Get out of here. I have to keep training.
Kakarot would throw some energy towards Daishinkan, with which he would be able to heal all his wounds, informing Whis and Beerus to leave for their planet in the same way, while Kakarot would begin to channel a small part of his power in the wounds that Daishinkan had granted him, although they were not serious.
As far as I can tell, there are great warriors in all these universes. I'll have to accelerate my growth to be able to prepare to end those bastards.
Kakarot would begin to accelerate his growth, since being the descendant of Zalma, he and this, and many more abilities with which he was able to master his power much more, and could even expel more energy since being an adult body, the load that his body could bear was much greater.
I'll have to train to master my new power and state, but I really need the help of that angel, and with me, I'll make him the most powerful angel.
Kakarot, having the qualities of a Saiyan, possessed a cold heart, so without telling anyone, he would leave to where he perceived the power of Whis, while both deities talked about everything that had happened with that Saiyan.
I can't believe that you're telling me, Whis. That Saiyan was able to bring Daishinkan down in one fell swoop?
That's right, a Saiyan hides too many secrets. We must be able to do something, because if he reveals himself against the whole divine world, it'll be our end.
I agree with you, Whis, because even if the High Priest was not able to cope with it, what could we do?
Don't worry, I will never destroy the divine world, and by the power you possess, I'll personally take care of your training.
Whis and Beerus were surprised since they hadn't noticed the warrior who was behind their backs, but equally their astonishment was noticeable since in only 4 days Kakarot had been able to reach his adulthood.
How is it possible that you've changed so much? In such a short time, you were a child only 4 days ago, and now you're a complete adult.
I'll tell you my biggest secret. I'm not an ordinary Saiyan. My original race is the Ozaru race, and my father is Zalma.
But that's impossible since the Ozaru race belonged to Universe 18, while Zalma has never been seen. In the same way, he only created the Super Dragon Balls.
I know it's hard thinking, but take it in. It's the truth. But if everything you have told us is true, how can you be alive after such a long time? That must be for good reason. That's right, my father Zama, he faced evil gods who had a similar power to his. But to finish them all, he used a big explosion. Before he died, he left me as his successor.
Now I understand why you're so powerful. I can't believe it.
That means that his status is even more higher than that of the great Zeno-sama. I want to master all this power. To be able to talk to the king at all, we have to increase the power we have.
But one question, why do you care so much if you possess the power of Zama?
I possess a part of my father's power, but if both gods didn't die with that big explosion, they must have incredible power and endurance. I understand, Kakarot-sama. We're totally at your disposal from today. I appreciate it, but you have to be warriors just as powerful as me, and even surpass me. And don't worry, because for that, I'll be with you guiding you.
We will really be trained by you. This direct successor of the almighty Zama.
That's right. We'll be a great team. So let's start, since we have to be the ones to attack first.
Kakarot would begin with the training of both deities. While far away from that universe, the god Shin, who had used his special divine eye ability to be able to locate some descendant of Zalma, had not been able to observe anything within the 12 universes.
Freak! Despite using my divine eye to its maximum capacity, I've not been able to see absolutely anything in what is now called the Multiverse 4.
Multiverse 4? What the hell is that?
As far as I was able to investigate, Zalma with her big explosion divided all the territories, but 3 of the multiverses were not suitable for life, leaving only the 4th multiverse.
And in that multiverse, there are 12 more universes. So, are you going to give me understanding, or am I confused?
Not at all. You're correct. In the 4th multiverse, there are 12 universes, but they are the beings that have absolutely no power. Simple garbage.
We should not trust ourselves, since Zama's successor must be anywhere. Don't you have some trusted warrior?
Unfortunately not. They're all eradicated by the explosion of that fucker Zalma.
Hell, we'll have to use one of the 4 hells, since apparently the 4 hells are still used to the distribution of souls of the 12 current universes.
Frake, using his great power of the Prince of the Underworld, he'd begin to channel a small demonic essence to be able to connect with one of the 4 hells. But at the time of connecting, he'd realized that in the same way, there was a new king of the Underworld. However, Frake, realizing his essence massacre, was able to knock out the current king of the Underworld.
They're garbage. These warriors are not able to withstand a simple pressure.
Frake would observe a warrior with a great potential for which, with great precision, he was able to inject some pure demonic energy into his internal system, with which that warrior would begin to have a great mutation, forming the new Kakarot Nemesis.
I want you to destroy all 12 universes. If there's no one to be able to cope with you, when you destroy everything, I want you to self-destruct with a big explosion.
As you order it, my creator himself will be.
That demon, possessing much more power, was able to destroy the barrier of the underworld by entering the world of the living again. Daishaken would quickly perceive the demonic essence.
What is that disgusting power? Apparently a being from the beyond was able to enter our world.
Daishaken, being a protective angel of the 12 universes, was able to turn to that great evil presence before it destroys any planet.
Who are you, demon? And how have you been able to get out of the 4 hells?
That's not something I have to answer you.
You're interfering with my plans, so now you'll pay with your life.
The demon was able to start exchanging blows at the mass speed of Daishaken, which would leave the same priest very surprised by all the power he was able to expel.
Is that all your power? You're a good-for-nothing guardian. Now I'll teach you what the supreme power is.
The warrior would begin to expel great power, with which a red aura would be created around his entire body, starting to walk towards where Daishaken was, which was not able to move in the slightest. That demon of expelling that power was able to perceive by Kakarot.
One of Frake's warriors has been released. This will be his first finish. Finish that damn bastard!
Of course, Kakarot-sama. Kakarot, with his great speed, was able to arrive before Daishaken's eliminated. That's right, with the new demonic power, he was able to sweep the floor with Daishaken. But Kakarot had arrived at the exact moment. However, he'd be surprised that Daishaken when he noticed that Kakarot was backing up.
What are you doing here?
Do you want Whis and Beerus to be able to face that monster?
They have been trained by me, so you have nothing to worry about.
The slight annoying demon would try to hit Beerus, but Beerus, with great elegance, and was able to connect a big blow to the abdomen of that warrior, which would make him spit out too much blood.
You're nothing compared to Kakarot. You're nothing worthy of observing 100% of all my power, so I'll only use half.
Beerus would expel 50% of all his power, but he had already been able to overcome Daishinkan abysmally. The incredible power of the Destroyer God Beerus had been so much that it would leave Daishinkan very surprised, since he had been surpassed by hundreds of times.
Father wouldn't be surprised with so little, since that's only 50% of Beerus-sama's power.
Was Beerus really serious when he said it was only 50% of all his power? How did they manage to get all those Whis powers?
We meet again, priest. Don't worry, it's not any evil power. I personally have taken care of training them.
I understand that you've taken the time to train them, but it's impossible that they have improved so much in such a short time.
Training with the best. One way or another it changes you, because they had to adapt to my power. Remember, priest, everybody has a survival instinct, so either you adapt and fight, or you stay in the place where you are and die.
I don't know what you are or who you are, and I'd love to know your origin. And I thank you for saving my life.
Don't worry, priest. After this training battle, I want you to gather all the gods and angels in this palace of the one who calls himself the ruler of the whole.
Okay, Kakarot-sama, whatever you order.
Kakarot, with a small part of his power, was able to Daishinkan to recover completely and even restore all his energies. Daishinkan would put a very serious look as he was very thoughtful.
How is it possible for a Saiyan to be able to possess all this power? It's true, I don't compare myself to his power, but it must not be an easy thing to restore all of my energy.
Returning to the battlefield, both warriors had destroyed several planets, in which the demon was very badly injured by the incredible blows that Beerus connected to him.
How's it possible that a pathetic being from these universes is capable of harming me?
You've only faced the wrong warrior, since you even have the necessary power to bend the High Priest.
I don't care what I have to do. I promise I'll destroy you.
On the other hand, in a very distant place, from everything existing in a kingdom, which was known as the Spiritual Kingdom, Zama would wake up after having slept for billions of years. That's right, Zama, being the first presence of that existing void, would be considered a celestial, and having the feats of giving his life to end evil, he was worthy of belonging to the Celestial Kingdom. Zama, very confused, would stand up, but in front of it, a beautiful woman with silver hair would stop him. So, after millions of years, you have woken up. You really are gifted, because even the greatest geniuses take much longer than you.
Who are you? Where am I located?
What is this place? I died? Oh, so many questions. Don't worry. I'll help you answer each one, so it'll be better to leave in search of your answers. Both would leave quickly while Zama was flying over all the territory. He would realize that it had a similar appearance to paradise, since they were large green areas until they came to a large fountain. Because there are too many questions that you have, it'll be better that you drink a little of the water of wisdom. It'll grant you the answers that you're looking for. Zama, a little incredulous, he would drink such water in which millions of memories, and even he was able to observe the final explosion and granting a large part of his power to his successor.
Am I dead?
I wouldn't know how to answer that question exactly, but you will always live in this world, which is known as the Spirit Realm.
What other warriors live in this place?
There are not so many warriors, since only a few are chosen to live in this world. But the warriors who are here are people who did something relevant in history.
What have you done for you to be in this world?
Although it may not seem like it, I'm the queen of space-time, and I was able to save all the timelines that exist, because if I don't, the entire multiverse would explode.
You really are a hero, but what if I don't want to be in this place?
No one has ever said that. Don't you like this place?
Of course I like it, but there's something that I still haven't solved in the world of the living, and my son, my successor, is in danger, since two beings just as powerful as me are still alive. Around both of them, hundreds of shadows had covered everything. That's right, while a warrior was approaching towards both of them, with every step he took, the ground and everything around him was shaking.
Didn't you like the spiritual realm? I'm the leader of this place, and even several gods know me as the founder of this place. How does the founder of this place possess a lot of negative energy? Negative energy is not only used for evil, because if you really want to do something for the universe, it doesn't matter what essence or energy you possess. I agree with you on that aspect, but please, let me out of this place. Even if I wanted to let you out of this place, you'd die. Because when you just wake up, your body must adapt to everything, and even in this new place, if you leave here with such low power, you'll be turned into simple dust of space. How long does it take for you to be able to leave this place? You have to wait about a century, because for gods like us is no problem, but in case you want to do it, try.
Zama, in the hope of being able to leave the place, he would try taking out one of his limbs, but at the moment of doing so, his arm would be turned into ashes, as if a very hot fire had turned it into simple dust.
Hell, I have no choice but to totally trust Kakarot.
Returning to the battlefield, the demon would have been totally massacred by Beerus. But before Beerus finished with him, Kakarot would ask, "Speak to that guy.
Tell me, who sent you to this place?"
Kakarot would be upset as he felt like that demon had spat in his face.
"For that very reason, it has a horrible ending. I'll not kill you because if I do, I'll be informing them that there is a capable being of exterminating you."
What? Didn't you mean to end my life?
Of course not. Now I'll seal you in my Ozaru body, in which you'll always be tortured by me. Although they'll only be mental attacks, but you'll feel it so real you'll ask to die.
The demon would try to flee, but it was too late, because at the moment, Kakarot was able to make a great beast appear all over the universe. This beast, with a big bite, had swallowed him up, leaving him absolutely nothing.
Ozaru, come to me! Ozaru seal activation!
Hundreds of purple energy ices began to neutralize the body of that demon, which was not able to do anything, and due to his screams, Kakarot of hundreds of shadow spirits was able to seal his mouth completely.
Since you didn't want to talk, I've taken away the possibility for you to.
Kakarot-sama, is that the limit of all your power, or does it have a lot more hidden power?
This is only a small part, but we must have great power to be able to face the real destroyers.
True destroyers? What do you mean, Kakarot-sama?
I'll explain this more in detail to everyone, but it'll be better if we go to the ruler's palace, since I want to explain it only once.
Everyone would arrive quickly since Kakarot's speed was impressive, while with Frake, he was very thoughtful.
What happened? I'm not able to feel the demon energy I sent, but his vital signs are stable.
What's going on, Frake? I can only feel how power has gotten a little out of control since, like all your emotions. Has something bad happened?
No, not at all. I'm just not able to connect with the demon that I sent to destroy all universes.
Ha 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 ha! Don't worry about it, Frake. Do you think anyone has enough power to face a demon with the essence of your powers?
You're right, Gelshin. I'm just getting too worried.
Returning to the Kingdom of the Whole, Daishinkan would make a call to all the gods and angels who, realizing the threat of which Daishinkan had informed them, had headed at a great speed. The instant they arrived, they would all bow down to the great priest.
We must not waste time. I present to you the Saiyan who is even able to overcome my power and make Whis and Beerus have much greater power than mine.
I introduced myself. I'm the successor of the powerful Zama, or the one you know as the creator of the Super Dragon Balls. 2 potential enemies are approaching. I don't have an exact date, but it'll be the most catastrophic war and battles of all the universes.
I don't know. You have to prove some of your power for us to be able to trust you, because these seem like pure fairy tales. God of Universe 11, for that comment, I'll exterminate you right now.
Don't worry, Daishinkan. Beings without any knowledge, they're not able to understand that there are beings much more powerful than them outside the 12 universes.
Kakarot at that moment would expel only 5% of his power, with which he was able to make all the gods and angels fall. No one was able to move, even Belmaud, who he was not able to do anything, while Beerus would approach Belmaud.
You're a clown. You never knew how to control your mouth. I hope you'll be able to get out of this meeting alive. I can't move a single finger. How is it possible that the Beerus is able to move freely?
If you ask why Whis and Beerus are able to move freely, the answer's simple. They were under my teachings.
Belmont, despite using all his power, and even the power of destruction, was not able to do anything. Kakarot would stop releasing all his pressure.
I hope that this demonstration of power will be enough, because next time, the demonstration will be to rip your head off with just one of my fingers. Do you understand?
That's right, Kakarot-sama. I'm really sorry for my disrespect towards you.
Meanwhile, in the inner world of Kakarot, the demon tried to free himself by any method, but it was practically impossible for him, since he was not able to do anything. However, the great Ozaru would approach the demon.
I feel like moving my muscles a little. If you're able to cause me a little scratch, I'll leave this place.
The threads that had him tied faded away, while the demon would begin to move at great speed. However, for that Ozaru, it was easy to follow this speed, so the demon would attack him from his blind spot. But the Ozaru, with his tail, was able to send him to a mountain to fly. When the demon stood up, a lot of blood would come out of his whole body.
You only gave me a slight blow, but it's caused me incredible damage. What the hell is the skin of this beast made of? I had expectations about you, but apparently I have more fun in my mental trainings. I'd better imprison you again.
The demon would try to make a move, but the threads were able again to neutralize him, while shadows completely covered his mouth. At the end of the meeting of all the gods and angels had the mission to become much more powerful, while Kakarot would remain in the kingdom of the whole to grant a great training to the great priest.
Whis, Beerus, I want you guys to supervise the training of all the other gods and angels, as we'll need all the power that can be collected.
As you order, Kakarot-sama.
And you, Daishinkan, are you ready for the training you're about to receive?
Of course I will. I'll endure it, and I'll become useful in this great war.
That's how Kakarot, along with Daishinkan, started with his rigorous training. That's right, Kakarot, despite being only a Saiyan, was able to train the deities of Universe 7, and this time, he would even begin to train Daishinkan, who had a much higher level of learning than Whis. Returning to the remoteness of the universe with the two remaining gods, Gelshin, a little more recovered, was able to move. However, his body still had several injuries, which were able to limit him, and even he was not able to enter into battle.
You're getting closer. A few more years and we'll be able to free ourselves from those damn wounds and end everything once and for all.
Kakarot, despite having all the divine support, he was very thoughtful, and even though he had not taken a great training, his power was gigantic, so much so that he was even able to possess a part of the Ultra Instinct at his base state.
The power I possess is incredible, but I feel that it's not enough to face both gods who didn't fall because of my father's explosion.
Kakarot-sama, what is wrong with you? I've seen him thinking for several days now.
Whis, we're getting ready. We've been able to defeat a demon from one of the four hells, but something's not right.
Don't worry, Kakarot-sama. With your great power, there's nothing to fear.
No, Beerus, you're completely wrong. Because in any corner of the universe, there will always be beings much more powerful than us.
But Kakarot-sama, his father, the mighty Zalma, was the first god, so there must be no one more powerful than the creator of everything.
In one part, you're right. My father created what is now known as the 8 multiverses, but outside of those multiverses that exists?
Isn't the infinite void, Kakarot-sama?
There are beings who believe the same as you think, Whis, but my thinking's different. I think that outside of everything, in the same way there's life and beings that we don't know.
But that's right, Kakarot was totally correct. Since crossing the 8 multiverses created with the power of Zalma, there were dozens of worlds, in which even one of them was called the Forbidden World, due to all the beings that seemed to have no limit to their power.
Freak, it's time. We've been able to recover completely, or are you still in bad condition?
No, Gelshin. I'm already recovered anyway, so it's time to end that damn nuisance.
Both warriors, when they stood up, released an incredible power, which was able to destroy millions of planets. All the deities felt such pressure which did not allow them to move freely.
So this is the pressure of the beings we have to face. But thanks to Kakarot's training, I'm able to withstand it.
Kakarot-sama, apparently the last two gods have come forward.
You're right, Whis. It's time to put an end to the whole damn story. I plan to defeat them to honor my father's death.
But at the incredible pressure it would be perceived even in the Heavenly Kingdom where Zalma was, Mayuki, he also felt such pressure, but he would give a small smile. Whose pressure's that? They look like simple worms want to raise their power. Zalma would be very surprised by Mayuki's comment because for Zalma, it was an incredible power. Don't tell me, Zalma, that pressure amazes you? They're simple worms that barely, and their power reaches the level of a priest.
You're wrong, Mayuki. This power is much greater than the power of a priest. I'm sure of that.
But that wouldn't matter to us, since we don't belong to that world anymore.
Mayuki, please. My son must be in danger. I'm begging you. There must be a way to get out of this place.
There's a way, but you'll only be able to go to that place for 1 hour.
Okay, I just wanted to give a few recommendations to my son to get ready to finish those bastards.
It's okay, Zalma, I'll help you. Mayuki would begin to raise a little of his divine power, with which the body of Zalma would be covered in a great light. At the end, a very different Zalma could be observed, since his appearance seemed that of a simple human, but negative energy radiated from his entire body.
What is this, Mayuki?
In order for you to be able to get out of this place, you have to have a much more resistant body, and in the same way, master the negative energy.
That means that with this body, I'm able to master the negative energy.
That's right. Not in its entirety, but in a good part. Since you crossed the barrier of both worlds, you only have 1 hour.
That's more than enough, Mayuki. I swear, I'll return this favor to you.
Zalma, with his great speed, would begin to cross all the barriers of the Celestial Kingdom. Meanwhile, in the 12 universes, Frake was able to feel the presence of Kakarot, being a very similar energy.
After so many millions of years, I'm finally able to feel that damn energy again. This'll be a lot of fun. I want to destroy everything in my path.
But in front of the both warriors, all the Divine Kingdom would stand in front of them, and between all of them, Kakarot would take a big step to the front, which caused hundreds of catastrophes with each of his steps.
So you're the ones who want to put my father Zalma on the ropes?
Apparently the damn Zalma. I grant you the knowledge in the same way. Frake, without being left behind, would begin to release his power, leaving Kakarot very surprised. That's right, the power that Frake was releasing would leave him surprised, realizing that despite the great training he had given to the divine beings, it would all be impossible for them to endure this great battle. Kakarot would observe them all, and without warning, he would create a big hole, with which he'd also absorb them all, disappearing at that moment.
What are you trying to do? You should know that if you die, the garbage you're trying to protect will still.
Of course I know, but for that reason I'm not allowed to lose. I plan to finish with each of you, even if it costs me my life.
The warriors fell into place far away from the 12 universes, but when they tried to leave that planet, a great barrier would prevent them.
What the hell? Why has Kakarot-sama done this? We've trained very hard to be of help in this great battle.
No, Whis, if Kakarot has done this, it'd be for a big reason. You surely realize that we wouldn't have the required power. Before Whis was able to say anything, in space they were able to observe hundreds of three-dimensional cracks which were caused by the clash of their fists. Really, even though we trained, we wouldn't have been able to withstand a single one of his fists. This is amazing. Even me, being a priest, I look like a simple ant.
Best thing we could do is to entrust all our energy towards Kakarot-sama, for him to take care. I'm ashamed to say, but even I wouldn't be able to do anything.
All the warriors began to channel the power so that it received by Kakarot. Meanwhile, returning to the battlefield, the fight between Kakarot and Frake, the first prince of the underworld, seemed to be very even. But in each exchange of blows, Kakarot looked more injured. Kakarot, with his great speed, would take distance, but when he appeared after a mountain, Frake, with his great physical strength, he connected a powerful blow to the stomach, which made him create great destruction, being sent to fly to hundreds of mountains around him. This has been a waste of time. I thought that being Zalma's successor, I would have had the same power. But I've been wrong. Kakarot, with that blow, he had completely lost his defense. That's right, Frake's blow was so powerful that it left him very stunned. Not satisfied with this, Frake, without waiting for him to recover, would begin to grant him millions of blows all over his body. Kakarot would fall to the ground again and again.
I cannot lose. I'm not allowed to lose. I'm the god who will bring peace to everything around me created by my father.
The beating Kakarot was receiving was one of the most brutal in his entire life. I'm tired of playing with you. I'd better finish with you. Frake's fist was heading towards the heart of Kakarot, but from all the space, a great being would appear, just as an opposing was felt all over the place.
Stop! Do they even want to die?
Frake's fist would be destroyed. That's right, the simple pressure was able to destroy every one of his bones. Goshen would release a little more of his power, with which he was able to withstand the pressure.
Who the hell are you? I had no idea which multiverse has such a powerful warrior.
You're not worthy to know my name. Only you should know that if you touch this warrior again, I'll end your miserable life.
Damn, I don't care who you are, but I'm the prince of the underworld, so you have to speak to me with respect.
Ha ha ha. Respect? You're nothing but scum.
Frake would pounce against Zalma. Goshen would try to stop him, but it was useless. Frake, who was invaded by anger, would start exchanging blows with Zalma. But Zalma dodged each one of his blows with great elegance.
This can't be happening. I'm one of the first gods to exist. Pathetic warrior can't humiliate me like this.
Humiliate you? Ha! I haven't humiliated you yet. But very soon you will know the real humiliation.
Shut up! 1,000 rays from the underworld!
Thousands of rays would collide with the whole body of Zalma. Frake, confident that he had pulverized it, was surprised to realize how his powerful attack had been nothing for that warrior.
Who is he? He's humiliating Frake completely. I'll join since we're in this together. I'm not gonna let my best friend get killed.
Goshen, along with Frake, began to attack Zalma from all sides, but the speed of both gods was insufficient to reach Zalma. Both were sent flying with hundreds of wounds all over his body, while Zalma would approach the body of his beloved successor, placing one of his hands on Kakarot's chest.
You've done well, my son, but you have to master your power completely.
Zalma, with his touch, had been able to transmit much more knowledge of the battles and had restored his power completely.
Damn, how the hell did he hit us? I wasn't able to see anything. That warrior must be a super warrior who's been taking care of Zalma's offspring.
Goshen and Frake, I never wanted to go to these extremes, but you have searched for everything that happened.
How is it possible that you know our original names?
I was the one who created the big explosion. I can't die. I just transform my energy.
Damn Zalma.
Zalma, with as little of his demonic power, was able to summon a door that radiated darkness just like its color was black. Instantly the door opened, Zalma would throw both gods with great brutality.
It would take them several years to get out of that dimension.
Zalma, when you get out of this damn dimension, rest assured we'll wipe out every being that exists in all multiverses.
Zalma would take his successor and head towards the planet, on which he had easily destroyed the barrier into hundreds of pieces.
But who are you? Despite your negative energy, I feel no bad intentions in you. You're a great observer. That's right, this is a borrowed body. I'm Zalma, and I was not going to allow my successor to die.
But if you're the legendary god Zalma, all the gods would make a bow. Just like the angels, Xeno-sama would approach towards Zalma.
Mighty Zalma, what's the reason why you don't end those threats yourself? He has the power to do it.
You're right, Xeno-sama, but I don't belong to this world anymore. So if I interfere or annihilate any beings from these worlds, something much worse can happen. We'll take care of Kakarot-sama, and I assure you that this great battle will be able to win it. I'm counting on you, as you have great powers.
The time of Zalma had ended, so he would be transported back to the Celestial Kingdom, in which Miyuki would approach Zalma.
I didn't know who was capable of putting you in that desperate situation, but apparently a successor really exists.
That's right. Since everything created by me, I don't want a bastard to destroy it.
Don't worry, I've been able to realize the potential that my father's been able to help me. He was able to save me. I have to become more powerful and surpass my powers. I have to be able to destroy this great barrier.
Kakarot was saying this to himself while observing a great distance between his power and a power within which he wished to reach. Kakarot, for several minutes, was observing all the great amount of energy that came from the inner part to which he was not able to enter.
Even if my body's destroyed, I intend to destroy this whole place, to enter the new level of power that place will give me.
Kakarot, being inside his body, would begin to increase his body to the limit, while on the outside his whole body was suffering incredible damage, since too much blood was spreading from all over Kakarot's body. Daishinkan, with the help of Angel, they began to heal him, but despite using all their power, it was impossible. Zaru could be seen all over the place.
I will protect my master's body. He plans to surpass the celestial rank. For that reason, he has to take his body to the limit, since we are in the final round.
Final round? What do you mean?
Zalma must have surpassed the power of Celestial Empire.
The entire essence of the Gigantic-Ozaru would begin to protect Kakarot's body, while inside Kakarot would take his body to the limit, so his muscles had grown exponentially.
I, the mighty Kakarot, I'm not going to give up, damn it!
Kakarot, with a loud roar, was able to break the barrier in front of him, being able to feel all that incredible power flowing throughout his body. Kakarot, before becoming unconscious, would enter that space full of power.
I've overloaded my body. I'm surprised it didn't explode, but I've succeeded. Now, I'll have to master this power.
Kakarot would be knocked out, while all that great power became one with Kakarot. Meanwhile, on the outside, Kakarot seemed to be asleep, as he had even returned to his base state completely.
Apparently, he has been able to access a new level of power. But if what that beast told us is true, we still have to train.
Father, why at this time all of us merge? That among all the angels and gods we merge for 14 months.
Whis, you're right. Since then, we'll be able to do more to help Kakarot-sama. He'll even be able to have incredible power boost. Okay, that's what we'll do right now, so we can start training anyways.
Daishinkan was able to create a great pentagram in which they were able to unite unto one being. But before merging completely, Reich, the creator of the Celestial Kingdom, would grant them a much more resistant body and with the ability to increase their power much faster.
I want that old multiverse to survive, and that they can enjoy the life I once wanted.
Reich, I've seen what you've done, but why do you have your negative essence? And despite that, you're an honorable warrior.
I have committed unforgivable acts, but every day I try to remedy them, and I know that one day I'll find forgiveness.
I don't know what you've done, but with all this, I assure that you will be able to find forgiveness. Trust that, friend.
It's been a million years since anyone called me friend, but in this place, you're able to expel all your power. How about a battle?
Does the creator of the Heavenly Kingdom want to be defeated by me?
Don't make me laugh. You don't possess the power to be able to defeat me.
That's what I want us to check.
Both warriors began to exchange hundreds of blows, but Reich, with his great manipulation of space, would make both appear in a far place away from the spiritual realm so as not to cause some damage. Zalma was able to connect a powerful blow to him, which would make him retreat a few meters, while Reich, with a great dark power, created several negative energy shadows, which tried to stick to Zalma's body, but the powerful god Zalma was able to destroy each of his shadows with multiple energy attacks. But as it were a lightning bolt, Reich on his back connected a big blow, causing Zalma to fall to the ground, very badly injured and being almost out of combat.
You're still powerful, but you lack experience on the battlefield. And also, would you fall to the ground vomiting blood? But he was very confused.
What the hell happened? I was the one who attacked you first. How's it possible that you did this damage to me? You're correct. You attack it first, but I used my threads of fate to damage your internal organs.
Reich would hardly stand up.
So you're a great warrior that even does damage to the insides of the body. This battle's getting very interesting.
While both warriors were fighting, Mayuki watched as his king was not amused for hundreds of years. I'm glad to know that my king, with the arrival of Zalma, would start entertaining. It seems that he'll return to the fights. Zalma at the moment would fall into a big lake, but he was totally corrosive, since he was infected with this incredible negativity, in which Reich would also enter since he would not be affected by his own technique, but by trying to hit Zalma.
This hurts, damn it! King Lightning!
The great lightning was able to disintegrate the entire lake and cause great damage to both warriors, but the one which caused the most damage would be to Reich, since he had no defense, unlike Zalma, who created a layer of energy around his body.
It's time to end this battle. Domain expansion, Dragon Likedom.
A powerful dragon would pounce against Reich, who, despite being on the ground and with fatal wounds, would observe the incredible dragon would approach towards him.
So, you use the domain expansion. That's interesting. Domain expansion! Empty infinity!
The powerful attack of Zalma would be devoured as if it were something tiny. Zalma was surprised. He tried to throw another dragon again, but before using his technique, he would be stopped by several shadows.
Domain expansion. Shadow of the Assassin King!
All the shadows started blasting Zalma's power, but before they were able to take much more power from her, Zalma would create a small explosion, disintegrating each of her shadows.
This is my last attack. You're powerful, Reich. Domain expansion, Divine Hands!
The most powerful attack of Zalma would give appearance, the technique which he would defeat Freyk. But Zalma was surprised to observe the same technique, but the invocation of Freyk was twice his size.
I too. Domain expansion, Supreme Divine Hands!
Reich's Divine Hands completely crushed Zalma's technique, just like it would grant him several hundred blows, making him vomit blood and fall to the ground with a big smile.
What an awesome warrior. It'd be fun to train with you again after millions of years.
Reich would fall to the ground very badly injured, and with a big smile, Mayuki would approach both of them, helping them to recover. Meanwhile, in the dimension to which they had been sent, both gods, 8 months had already passed quickly, which had been able to raise their power to an incredible level.
We have only been able to find the exit, but apparently in 12 months it'll open. There are only 4 more months left. I, the Prince of the Underworld, once the head of Zalma's successor.
Kakarot, in the 8 months have elapsed, he still did not wake up, but his power had risen in an incredible way, since he was training in his internal energy system.
Well, you have 4 months to be able to beat those wretches completely.
Meanwhile, we could observe a powerful warrior with a spear, destroying hundreds of debris, but his speed was unreal. That's right, this warrior was the fusion of all angels, and likewise bore the name of Daishinken, being the one who was in command of the fusion. The power that we have achieved in these 8 months was incredible. Will be a great help to Kakarot-sama, but I'm worried that he'll not wake up yet. Daishinken would continue with his great training. That's right, everyone was preparing for the great battle that is coming in a few months. Meanwhile, inside Kakarot, this one was again meditating.
This is my last month of meditation. I have to go back to the outside world to find out how the situation is.
Time would pass quickly, in which, on a certain day that Daishinken was training, he perceived how Kakarot's power would grow suddenly. That's right, when Kakarot woke up, his body had evolved, opting the ultra-perfect instinct as his new base state, and to be able to withstand much more energy load, Kakarot would shake all the planets of the 12 universes. But he was surprised to observe how a warrior approached him and was not affected by his pressure.
Who are you? How are you not affected in the least by my pressure?
Kakarot-sama, it's me, Daishinken. Only all the angels and gods have merged to be one with much more help.
This is incredible! His power is at least multiplied 1,000 times more.
Kakarot-sama praises me, but according to what his Ozaru informed us, the gods are about to leave that place in about 45 days.
Daishinken, do you feel ready to face them?
That's right.
And let's not think about all this anymore. Today we'll put an end to all this, since I'm able to invoke the same dimension to which my father sent you.
Kakarot, with his great power, was able to channel an incredible negative power, with which he managed to invoke the Great Gate, from which quickly both gods had appeared in front of them.
So you're the scum. You're only anticipated your imminent death.
Furious, Freyk would pounce against Kakarot, but to everyone's surprise, Kakarot on this occasion, with only one of his hands, was able to stop the blow that on the previous occasion sent him flying.
You're not fighting the same warrior, so you better be prepared to die.
Freyk, being able to say something, would be brutally beaten in his side, for which several of his ribs would be completely broken. Gelshin, trying to go to the aid of his companion, Daishinken would stand in front of the same. I will be your opponent. I'll not allow you to interfere in the battle of Kakarot-sama.
You're nothing compared to me, so get out! It doesn't matter that you've merged with other warriors, you're still a piece of trash.
Both begin to exchange several blows, with which, destroying planets of all the universes, the beings of the Celestial Kingdom, they realized that the last battle had begun. I trust you, Kakarot. Freyk would recover from that blow, releasing the power that left Zalma amazed.
That's right, I also trained in that damn place that Zalma sent to us.
Kakarot, without being surprised in the slightest, would begin to fight with that guy, but the fists of the Prince of the Underworld were trembling with every exchange.
This can't be happening! It can't be! You can't imagine the power I've gained to be able to end your pathetic life.
That's right, the incredible power that Kakarot had achieved in these months, he had been able to overcome Reich by hundreds of times. While the battle of Daishinkan and Gelshin, Daishinkan would begin to take the advantage because Gelshin, his specialty was silent combat.
Hell rays!
Hundreds of rays came out, fired against Daishinkan, which dodged each of the rays with a little difficulty. But each ray contained an incredible power. Daishinkan, when arriving in front of Gelshin, would stretch out one of his hands.
They woke up at the wrong time. Die, Celestial Eliminator!
Gelshin's body would be reduced to dust, as well as his soul, so that he would not be able to reincarnate again. Freyek, observing how his companion was completely destroyed, would panic.
I'm not going to go to hell alone. I'll use the same technique that Zalmo's useless one uses in his finale, but I'll combine it with my negative energy. You would do that if you had the time or skill that my father had to create it. You're a simple fly by his side. Die.
A powerful dragon was able to pulverize Freyek, the Prince of the Underworld. Kakarot, by possessing the power of Zalma, he was able to bring all the fallen warriors back to life and restoring all the 12 universes. But in front of them, a golden door would open from which Reich, the king of the celestial world, would appear.
Nice to meet you, Kakarot. You'll be the protector of these 12 universes, and very soon, you'll be able to be in the place where we are.
Live your life to the fullest, my son.
Of course I do, Father. Thank you for saving me.
Thus, Kakarot became a symbol of salvation in all the 12 universes. Gogeta floated in the sky, surrounded by the imposing energy of his new form. The stars seemed to pale before the intensity of his blue radiance, as Takagami recovered from the initial impact and adopted a defensive posture.
What kind of transformation is this? This is the power of those who fight for something greater than themselves.
With a flash, Gogeta disappeared, appearing in front of Takagami in the blink of an eye. The clash of their fists created shockwaves that shook the battlefield. Gogeta's speed and strength were unmatched, surpassing even Takagami's ability to anticipate his blows. Gogeta and Takagami exchanged blows and energy blasts at breakneck speed. Each impact resounded like cosmic thunder, creating an epic symphony on planet Earth.
Your attempt to revive your so-called gods ends here, Takagami.
But you're a bug in the face of the greatness of my power.
In an instant, Gogeta unleashed a burst of concentrated energy, enveloping Takagami in a whirlwind of light and force. When the light dissipated, Takagami emerged unharmed, but with a more serious expression.
Interesting, but not enough.
The battle was reaching cosmic levels, with ripples of energy spreading across the far reaches of the universe. Meanwhile, the other Z warriors watched the sky, appreciating Gogeta's great power of display and Takagami's resilience and viciousness. The roar of battle echoed in every corner of the universe. Gogeta and Takagami, wrapped in an endless dance of energy, continued their titanic confrontation. Space twisted and trembled under the influence of their powers, creating distortions itself. Bursts of energy expanded like lightning, illuminating the darkness of the night sky with dazzling flashes. Each blow between the two contenders seemed to release an explosion of energy that spread in concentric waves, setting the frantic pace of the cosmic battle. Away from the battlefield, the others watched in anguish and admiration. Bulma, with a mixture of fear and hope in her eyes, clung to the hope that Gogeta would prevail.
Come on, Gogeta, you must win! For all of us!
Meanwhile, on the battlefield, Gogeta and Takagami continued their fierce exchange. Determination burned in Gogeta's eyes, while Takagami maintained a defiant smile, though his expression hid a growing unease.
This is for the price you pay for defying the peace of the universe!
With a swift movement, Gogeta vanished and reappeared behind Takagami, launching an energy-charged punch straight at his back. But Takagami, anticipating, quickly spun around and blocked the attack with the dark energy shield.
Haha, is that all you got?
In response, Gogeta intensified his assault, unleashing a continuous flurry of punches and kicks. Each impact resounded like thunder. But Takagami, though outmatched in speed, resisted with his dark power, countering the attacks with deft movements. During the scuttle, Takagami took advantage of the prevalent moment of openness and opened up a launched energy bolt straight for Gogeta's chest. The resulting explosion shook the universe and Gogeta was thrown backwards, leaving a trail of blue energy. Is that all hope can do? Gogeta recovered quickly, stood up with determination. The glow of his transformation increased even more. This is far from over. The battle continued, leading them again to display an ever-increasing amount of power. In this fury, Gogeta unleashed power that defied the laws of the universe, and Takagami, despite his arrogance, began to show signs of concern. The tension was palpable. The Z Warriors felt the intensity of the confrontation, even when they were a long distance away from where the battle for the future of the planet was taking place. Piccolo was seriously watching, calculating every move and thinking if at some point this battle, which was far from over, would be a favorable outcome. Piccolo, in his thoughts, Goku, Vegeta, we trust you. You must win this battle. The battle reached a new climax when Gogeta and Takagami met at an eminent point in the battle. The energy emanated from them, illuminating the vastness of the dark sky, creating a dazzling spectacle of colors and flashes. You cannot escape darkness. Darkness will never prevail over light. You're a fool if you think your light can eclipse my power. Suddenly, a voice echoed in Gogeta's mind, a familiar but distant voice. Gogeta, do not underestimate your enemy. Truth lies within strength. The transmission abruptly cut off, leaving Gogeta bewildered. Before he could reflect on it, however, Takagami lunged towards him with surprising speed, unleashing a series of punches and kicks that left Gogeta struggling to keep up. At that moment, a fleeting image flashed through Gogeta's mind. A vision of his loved ones, of his purpose, and the responsibility he carried on his shoulders. The energy of the transformation fanned, and Gogeta, with newfound determination, struck back with renewed ferocity. This is the limit of your tyranny, Takagami. The limit's up to you, Gogeta, and your limit is my power. Suddenly, the sky around him fragmented, and multiple distorted versions of Takagami emerged from the dimensional rifts, each with a malevolent grin. You cannot defeat me, Gogeta. I am eternal. I'm a god! You may be powerful, but I'm not alone in this! The battle reached a new intensity as multiple distorted incarnations of Takagami surrounded Gogeta. Each emanated a dark energy that defied the laws of the universe. The air itself seemed to vibrate with the pressure of their combined presences. At that precise moment, Goku and Vegeta's fusion had come to an end due to the amount of power they had used in order to stand up to Takagami. Goku and Vegeta, although they had returned to their individual forms after the fusion, knew that the key by defeating Takagami lay in perfect unity and coordination. Vegeta, we're in this together. Let's give all our power to be able to confront him so we can free Yamcha from this so-called god. Yes, Kakarot, this insect will not defeat us. The Z Warriors watched in amazement, aware that the fate of the universe hung in the balance. Piccolo analyzed the situation, looking for any weaknesses that could be exploited. The others prepared to act if the opportunity presented itself. Goku and Vegeta, now separated, their fusion as Gogeta, faced Takagami with determination in their eyes. The dark presence of the supposed god loomed over them, but the Saiyans were determined to free Yamcha and put an end to the threat he posed. Vegeta, we need to coordinate our attacks. We've always been stronger when we fight together. For once, I agree with you, Kakarot. This insect will pay for what he did. The two Saiyans lunged towards Takagami, attacking with a combination of punches and ki blasts. Takagami, though powerful, was momentarily overwhelmed by the timing of the two warriors. However, his sinister laugh echoed across the battlefield. Your union will change nothing. My power is unlimited. Goku and Vegeta exchanged glances, realizing that the situation was more serious than they had imagined. Takagami unleashed a wave of dark energy that sent them flying, but they quickly recovered, ready to continue the fight. The Z Warriors watched with concern. Gohan, though a bit intimidated by Takagami's power, maintained his unwavering determination. Piccolo, with his keen intelligence, pointed out a possible weakness. It seems his power is linked to some source. We must find a way to break that connection. Goten and Trunks, who had arrived along with Gohan, eager to join the battle, looked at their parents with concern. However, Piccolo stopped them.
Guys, we need a plan before we launch into battle. Your strength will be crucial at the right time.
While the Z-Warriors thought of a plan, Goku and Vegeta continued their fierce assault against Takagami. Every time it seemed they were about to defeat him, his power increased and the evil emanating from him intensified.
Ha 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 ha! Your resistance is useless. My power thrives on despair and suffering.
Then we must find a way to change that. Vegeta, we need to attack together, but with a strategy.
You're finally thinking clearly, Kakarot. Let's do it!
The two Saiyans, coordinating their movements, executed a series of synchronized attacks. Although Takagami was defending himself skillfully, he began to show signs of discomfort. The connection between his power and the external source seemed to be faltering. At that instant, Piccolo noticed the opportunity.
Now is the time. Gohan, wait for the opening we'll give you so you can attack. Goten, Trunks, follow me on my signal.
Gohan nodded, conveying a look of confidence to his friends. Goten and Trunks prepared to act on Piccolo's directions.
Everyone, let's send our energies to Goku and Vegeta. We must strengthen their connection and weaken Takagami's source of power.
The Z-Warriors gathered their energies and, with a coordinated effort, sent a stream of ki skyward. Goku and Vegeta, sensing the surge of power, seized the opportunity.
They're doing it! Come on, Vegeta!
The connection between Goku, Vegeta, and the Z-Warriors created a unique synergy. Energy flowed through them, strengthening their resolve and weakening Takagami's external source of power.
This can't be happening!
The darkness surrounding Takagami began to dissipate, due to the large amount of energy they were receiving from their friends. Piccolo, Gohan, Goten, and Trunks, observing the battle, noticed the opportunity to intervene.
Now, guys, let's go!
Goten and Trunks took flight into the sky where Goku and Vegeta were, joining the fight against Takagami. With the energy of the Z-Warriors strengthening the connection between Goku and Vegeta, the real battle was about to begin. The fusion of powers of the Saiyans between father and son created an explosion of energy that enveloped Takagami. The fight intensified, but now, with hope and determination as their allies, Goku, Vegeta, Goten, and Trunks were ready to face the Dark God and free the universe from his evil domain. The burst of energy that enveloped Takagami reverberated throughout the universe. The fusion of the powers of Goku, Vegeta, and his sons created a symphony of forces, illuminating the sky with a brilliant radiance that defied the darkness Takagami had tried to impose. Takagami, enveloped in the luminescence of the combined energy, struggled to maintain his composure. The connection between his power and the source of his power, Yamcha, was weakening with every second, and his sinister laugh began to turn into growls of frustration.
We're making progress, Vegeta!
Yes, but let's not let our guard down. It's not over.
As the Saiyans continued their coordinated offensive, Goten and Trunks and their Super Saiyan forms joined the battle. The pressure on Takagami intensified, as he now faced not only the two adult Saiyans, but also that of his sons. The coordination between them was impressive, and every move was backed by the combined strength of the Z-Warriors.
Dad! Vegeta! We're here to help! Let's show this guy that the Saiyan family is unstoppable!
The trio of Saiyans, with their different levels of expertise and abilities, formed a united front against Takagami. The battle was getting more and more intense, with bursts of energy and flurries of attacks lighting up space like a celestial spectacle. Piccolo, Gohan, Krillin, and the others channeled their energies to strengthen the connection between the Saiyans and, at the same time, searched for weaknesses in Takagami's defense.
We must keep the pressure on and look for any opportunity to unbalance Takagami.
Dad! Vegeta! Goten! Trunks! We all trust you! Let's defeat this enemy together!
In space, the synergy between the Saiyans reached its peak. Goku and Vegeta, with the energy of their sons and the Z-Warriors, fused their attacks in an amazing display of power. Takagami, despite his resistance, began to give ground.
This is not possible! I'm a god! I cannot be defeated!
The connection between his power and the external source was on the verge of collapse. The Saiyans, sensing Takagami's weakness, redoubled their efforts. Goten, Trunks, guided by Piccolo's strategy, attacked from unexpected angles, while Goku and Vegeta continued their frontal assault. Piccolo noticed a key opportunity.
Now, Gohan, it's your time!
Gohan, in his final form, ready to take advantage of the opportunity, concentrated his energy and launched himself into the confrontation. With surprising speed, he joined the fight alongside Goku, Vegeta, Goten, and Trunks. "Let's finish this, Dad!" The symphony of energy between the Z Warriors and the Saiyans reached its climax. Takagami, beset on all sides, struggled to stand, and the skies erupted in an explosion of light and darkness as the heroes joined forces to confront the Dark God. The battle reached its climax, and every move decided the fate of the universe. The Z Warriors from Earth watched with eagerness and hope, knowing that victory was within reach, but also aware that the final fight was yet to come. With the Saiyans and the Z Warriors facing Takagami in a cosmic confrontation. However, amidst the chaos of battle, a small distraction allowed Takagami to strike back with furiosity. Goten and Trunks, focused on following Piccolo's strategy, attacked from different angles. However, in a moment of minimal distraction, Takagami seized the opportunity and launched a surprise counterattack. With quick and precise movements, the Dark God managed to evade Goten and Trunks' attacks, countering them with punches and energy blasts.
Ha ha ha! Your efforts are useless, children! I'm the all-consuming darkness!
Goten and Trunks, though agile and powerful, found themselves in a precarious situation. Takagami, with his speed and cunning, left the young Saiyans struggling to keep up. "We have to protect them!"
Takagami's concentration of power is increasing. We need to regroup and find a strategy to counter his moves.
Meanwhile, in the sky, Goten and Trunks, despite the setbacks, continued to fight bravely. They tried to coordinate their attacks, but Takagami's speed and cunning proved to be a formidable challenge. "Trunks, we have to stay focused!"
I know, but this guy's stronger than I imagined.
In an unexpected twist, Takagami launched a blast of dark energy that hit Goten and Trunks, leaving them badly injured. Both Saiyans fell backwards with obvious signs of exhaustion and pain.
"Goten! Trunks! This damned Dark God!"
The adult Saiyans intensified their assault, determined to avenge their momentary fall of their sons. Takagami, however, taking advantage of the confusion and despair that gripped the Z Warriors, rejoiced in his newly strengthened power.
"This is how the heroes of the universe give up. They may fight, but in the end, darkness will always prevail."
The result was becoming even more tense. The Z Warriors, though determined, were facing the reality that their fight was far from over. Goten and Trunks, wounded but not defeated, were struggling to recover and rejoin the battle.
"We need a new approach. Takagami's strength increases with each passing moment."
"We'll protect Goten and Trunks. We'll not let the darkness prevail." The battle, now more critical than ever, was plunging into a desperate confrontation where the survival of the universe hung in the balance. Gohan, observing the critical situation of his brother Goten and Trunks, could not contain the fury that burned within him. A flash of anger crossed his eyes, and his energy rose to levels that would leave even the most experienced Saiyans dumbfounded. He lunged towards Takagami with shocking speed, ignoring any concern for his own safety.
"With this price, you'll pay for hurting my family!"
His speed and furiosity impressed everyone on the battlefield. Every blow he delivered carried with it a pent-up rage of a protective brother. Takagami, though initially surprised, adapted to the intensity of Gohan's attacks.
"Do you think your anger can stop me?"
"I'm going to protect my family and the entire universe from your darkness!" The battle between Gohan and Takagami unleashed an energy storm in space. Goku and Vegeta watched in awe and fear as the conflict reached levels that defied comprehension. Despite their determination, they realized they were facing a power beyond anything they had faced before.
"This kid, his power is amazing!" "We can't let Gohan fight alone. We must support him."
As Gohan continued his relentless assault, Takagami showed a significant improvement in his defensive ability. Every blow was met with inhuman prowess. The battle reached a point where the universe itself seemed to be on the verge of collapse. The epic confrontation between Gohan and Takagami pushed the Saiyan warrior to the limit of his abilities. Despite Gohan's bravery and skill, the Dark God, with unmatched cunning and speed, found an opening in his defense. With a graceful twist, Takagami unleashed a ripping attack, a blast of dark energy that sliced through the air with a malevolent precision. Gohan, surprised by the speed and ferocity of the attack, barely had time to react. The energy wave hit Gohan full on, enveloping him in an explosion of light and darkness. The force of the impact threw Goku's eldest son backwards, causing him to stagger, desperately struggling to stay on his feet. The dark energy left its mark on Gohan's body, marking him with deep, tearing wounds.
Ah! This can't be so strong!
Takagami, with a sinister smile, hovered in the air, observing the result of his devastating attack. The black energy around him seemed to vibrate with satisfaction as Gohan tried to recover.
This is the power you praise so much. You're no match for me, Gohan.
Goku and Vegeta, witnessing the scene from a distance, gritted their teeth helplessly. The situation was becoming more critical with each passing moment. Goten and Trunks, still injured but recovering, were prepared to rejoin the fight.
Gohan! We can't let this continue.
Goten and Trunks, sensing the urgency of the situation, approached Gohan to help him. Despite his own injuries, determination shone in his eyes.
Brother, are you alright? Yes, but we need a new approach. We're not going to let this guy get away with this.
Meanwhile, Piccolo and the other Z Warriors were also assessing the situation, looking for any opportunity to change the course of the battle. The pressure on them was mounting, and the need to find an effective strategy was becoming more apparent.
We have to work together. Gohan, can you keep fighting?
Gohan nodded, ignoring the pain coursing through his body. His determination had not dulled, on the contrary. Takagami's imminent threat stoked it.
I can't give up, but we need a strategy, something that could surprise him.
Surprise him, you say?
As the Z Warriors immersed themselves in strategy to counter Takagami, a small distraction took over the battlefield. Goten and Trunks, aware of the need of a different approach, exchanged determined glances. Without saying a word, they assumed the familiar fusion dance stance. The other warriors, immersed in their tactics, barely noticed the sudden disappearance of Goten and Trunks as they performed the fusion. The energy around them condensed into a brilliant flash that revealed Gotenks, Super Saiyan, the powerful fusion of the two young Saiyans.
Ready to give this guy a surprise!
With impressive speed, Gotenks launched himself towards Takagami, who was momentarily startled by the new presence on the battlefield. Gotenks, with his characteristic air of self-sufficiency, began to unleash a series of swift and agile attacks, challenging the Dark God with renewed energy.
Here I come!
Takagami, however, far from being intimidated, smiled sinisterly. With a casual gesture, he deflected Gotenks' attacks as if toying with him.
Is that all you've got, you little fused insect?
Gotenks persisted, intensifying his attacks, trying to find an opening in Takagami's defense. However, the Dark God, with a graceful move, countered each blow with ease.
Come on! It can't be!
In the moment of distraction, Takagami took advantage of the situation. With impressive speed, he launched a blast of dark energy that enveloped Gotenks before he could react. The resulting explosion threw Gotenks backwards, knocking him to the ground unconscious and disfigured.
Gotenks!
This is worse than we thought.
Takagami, now more confident of his superiority, hovered in the air, glaring at the defeated warriors. Goten and Trunks, still unconscious, lay on the ground as Takagami revealed in his moment of victory.
Ha 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 ha! Is this all you offer, Z Warriors? Your desperation only increases my power.
With the outlook darkened by Gotenks' momentary defeat, attention turned to Gohan, who, badly wounded but driven by an inner strength, began to radiate intense energy. The pain in his body seemed to fuel his determination, and a wild golden glow enveloped as his ki reached never-before-seen levels. In the blink of an eye, Gohan transformed into Super Saiyan Phase 3, a form of awesome power that surprised even Takagami. Gohan's hair grew out of control, his muscles swelled, and his expression reflected a mixture of pain and fierce determination.
What is this? A new trick?
Gohan, with a wild roar, launched himself towards Takagami with shocking speed. The force of his blows and the intensity of his attacks shook the battlefield, creating a storm of energy around him. The conflict between light and darkness took on a new dimension as Gohan challenged the limits of his own power.
You're going to pay for what you've done!
Well guys, this is all for today's chapter. I hope you liked it and it was to your liking. Now don't forget to leave your powerful like Supreme God level, comment and subscribe. Now without further ado, see you in a new video. Until next time.